What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 30th day of August, and here we are sitting at about 1.11 cents with 10 hours left in the day. Oh, wow, we had a lower low today, didn't we? The low being at 1.1 cents on the dot. Here we are. Let's look at this overall. Hold on real quick. Low to high. We just keep slipping, don't we? Slipping and dipping, baby. High to low right here. We're still in the golden ratio range. Typically, if you are to go lower, let's just say that, let's say OnyxCoin is a fraud and it's going to zero and we're going below this low. Typically, if that's true, you don't live in the golden ratio like this. You don't see this kind of behavior. Maybe this is suggestive that we could go a little bit lower. Even bounce off here. But if you're going to see the extensions or go lower than that, you typically tear through your golden ratio. And being that this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many times that we've attempted to do that, and we just can't. And being that, I mean, if you look at this thing really throughout its existence, you see who has an ease of access whenever it comes to movement. Is it the bulls or the bears? The bulls clearly, even in the slow times, the bulls move up way faster than the bears, let alone whatever happened whenever we got injected with bullish steroids here. The bulls have just been asleep. They broke out. They did their work. They've been tired, man. They've been very tired in this whole consolidation phase here. But we're almost done. We're almost there, man. This might be. I don't know my Elliot wave theory as well as I should, but this might be a running flat. I don't know. Aren't running flats? What is a running flat? Let's see. Hold on. Let me look. Do we have it over here? Impulse wave. Let's look it up. Let's just look it up. Running flat Elliot wave. Yeah. Oh, good. It's on the pattern site. That's great. By the way, if anybody wants to do technical analysis or learn anything about TA, just go to thepatternSite.com. Thomas Wolkowski makes it. It's free. He updates it all the time. He literally updates it all the time. Oh, wow. He even gives targets. I didn't know that. Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that. Yeah, and he tells you by what days. Oh, wow. Maybe I'll have to try trading his stuff and just see. He's predicting that by the 15th of September, we're going to be up. We're going to continue to grow. So, anyways, running flat is like this, ABC. So, no, maybe. Let's see. Let's look. It'd be a bullish running flat that we're looking for. I don't think so. I don't think so. But I don't know. Maybe it is. Somebody who knows Elliott wave theory better than I do. Maybe you can fill us in the comments. But whatever this is, it's definitely a shift in momentum, right? We had a very explosive move up, and with that came a very serious corrective phase here. We've had a minor explosive move up, and this corrective phase, while longer, has been a lot more tame. We've basically been moving sideways, slightly down, yes, and it's not ideal. From our recent highs back here in July, around where I last bought, we're all the way down here now at about, we're down about 45% from there. So 1.11 cents right now. A little bit desolate at the moment and not exciting at all, but as we move lower, the volume is just absent, right? And again, the same thing that I was saying here, same thing that we've been saying every step of the way down here, is that there's really nobody else, nobody left to sell. And I know that sounds a bit incorrect because we've been moving down still, right? So clearly there are people selling, but the amount of volume that we get to the downside is just completely insignificant. When we move up, we actually get volume that is significant. The volume that is insignificant, like even here on the downside, we had significant volume throughout the whole way. We had 8% volume or more on a day-to-day basis. Here, it's like 2%, 4%, less than 5% most of the time, which 6 to 8% I suppose is somewhat desirable, but it's nothing compared to what we've seen before. The volume is absolutely desolate. And we're not even moving down at the same fast pace as we were here, right? There's more volume at these lows than there are at these lows. And we've just been moving sideways. That's because nobody wants to sell. You've had all the time in the world to get out if you've wanted to. And when the last seller has sold, that's when we move up. A lot of people think that most of the sellers sell up here, or that this is where most of the sellers are. But really, what happens is whenever you find a high, is that there are no more buyers. There's nobody left to pump the market up, so it moves down because there's only sellers left, okay? Whenever we do stuff like this that bores, it just completely obliterates anybody and everybody who has interest in OnyxCoin, unless they have conviction and they see the long-term prospects. If it bores you out and all the sellers are gone, what's left? There's only buyers. If there's no sellers, there's only buyers left. The price is going to have an easy time moving up, right? And that's the same thing here. That's probably why we moved up at such an unprecedented rate over here. We look at the weekly time frame. I mean, just imagine you had an absolutely immaculate move to the downside, and really you were just boring. You had a little bit of excitement here, but just really, really boring for such a long time. Once there were no sellers left, you moved up at an incredible rate, right? Anyways, and where you moved up to was your prior areas of support back here, right? Prior areas of turbulence right there. That's where you found resistance. When we move up, I think it will correspond undeniably with this Fibonacci extension range, okay? And at a minimum, we've run these numbers so many times, man. The minimum, most pessimistic target we have is something of like 11 cents, which from here is a 10x, right? But whenever I say minimum target, this isn't even fair. This is genuinely a pessimistic target. What's crazy is like if I'm pessimistic on the average crypto, we're talking about a less than 100% move. This thing's pessimistic target is a 10x, okay? We're going to 26 to 32 cents. I believe this next phase is going to be a continuation. This is not just a one-off. You don't get a move like this. If it's a one-off, this is what you get: a move up and then a move down, right? If this was a one-off, you get a move up and then a move down. But you didn't do that, right? You consolidated and then you had continuation of that move. And if we actually compare these moves, it's a smaller scale, this overall, compared to what we've got going on here. But if we compare these moves real quick, we'll probably find that they're very similar, right? And I mean, maybe I could take it from the low. I feel like that move didn't start really till that week, but whatever. Let's just take it from the low, and we'll take this one right here from where it started to that high. Come on now, there we go, to that high. Put this at that high. This move here looks to be a little bit bigger, but they're very comparable. They're very, very comparable. Okay. And if we take this move, we do the same kind of idea. Do I take it from this low? I took this one from this low. If we don't take it from the low, if we take it from where the move like actually began, which is right here, they're even more comparable, more so, right? Like you look at that, they're practically twins. Okay, they're practically twins, literally. Put it right at the low there. It's barely bigger. If we take this one from the low overall, I don't want to do that because I feel like this is going to exaggerate, and I don't like to exaggerate. I like to be conservative. We take that from the low overall and we put it to where the move would begin here. That would take us up to 45 cents, and maybe we go to 45 cents. I don't know. Maybe we're not bullish enough on OnyxCoin, you guys. I don't know. We'll know soon enough. But I think the move really started here from this low to this high. If this is our move and this is our low, we're going to go right into this zone. And maybe if it's in the same context as this, maybe the move is a little bit lesser. And if it is, cool. We're right in that zone there. But again, the idea here is that this is not a one-off. A one-off looks like this. It pumps and then it dumps, right? Just like this here. This right here, that was a one-off. And then we went down, right? It's a one-off. But whenever you consolidate like this, it's not. So just understand here what you're holding. You've got something that is genuinely loading up for greatness, and the worst part about it is actually a good thing. The worst part about it is it's giving you a tremendous amount of time to accumulate. And if you've been doing that, if you've been accumulating, I don't care if you have $100,000 and 10% of it's an OnyxCoin, and every week you're putting an extra $100 in it or $10 in it or whatever. If you've done that every week, that amount of money, like let's just pretend for a second that you've put $10 into OnyxCoin every single week from this high. Just $10. Just $10. Because anybody could do that, right? $10 every single week. Let's say you've been doing that for 31 weeks. That's $310, okay? Not a lot of money. Most people could probably afford to put that in if they save up enough cash over a month, even with bills and stuff. I know times are hard. Most people can probably save more than that in a month, but depending on, everybody's situation is different. So I know some people have a hard time paying bills, and you can't really even spare an extra $100. But that might come down to spending habits. That might come down to not working enough, or maybe you're just in a bad spot, and sometimes that happens too, unfortunately. But that's a lot less common. But $310. If we were at this current price, $310, a 27x, you guys. 27x from 310. Hold on real quick, guys. You can do the math, but hold on. So 20, that would be a 27x Just right there in the middle at 26 to 32 cents, right there in the middle. 27x from 310. That's over $7,000, right? That's over $7,000. That's a lot of money from just putting $10 a week in. If you put $10 a week in for all this time that you've accumulated, you're making a ton of money based off of that, let alone if you've put in more. Again, the negative thing here is that it's been boring. That it's been absolutely boring. The worst kind of consolidation is a boring one, right? Whenever it moves down like this, you might want to sell, but it's like, oh, I don't know, it's going to come back up at some point. Whenever it's moving down fast, it doesn't really give you that opportunity to sell. Where here, if it's just slowly inching, you might think, screw it, it's only down like another 2%, but it's been doing it hits you more psychologically. I don't know what it is, but the hard times are not actually as hard as these boring times. These are much harder. And whenever we come back from this, again, guys, it's going to be spectacular. This is not a one-off. This is not a one-off situation. We're loading up, and the worst part about OnyxCoin is actually a good thing. It's giving you an opportunity to accumulate. And if you've been doing that, the rewards you will reap will be grand, absolutely grand. Okay. The weekly time frame is neutral. We've shifted from a bullish stance to a rather neutral stance. Overall, it is bullish, but neutral. The stochastics suck, but we do have lower lows in the stochastics with higher lows in the price. That is hidden bullish divergence. And the MACD is all the way down now at the zero. We have today and tomorrow left in this week. If we close here and then next week is green, if we open up September with the bang with the rest of crypto, we're going to bounce off of that zero line, and that would actually be a very strong and powerful signal on the weekly MACD. There are good things in the works here. We just have to do something with it, right? Can we go lower? Yes. Are we going to go lower? I don't think so. But man, I've said that before, right? I mean, how much more lower could we go? There are no sellers left. It's hard for me to be bearish at these areas. It's hard for me to be bearish at the lows, any of these lows. But if we were to go lower, looking at it like this, I suppose, yeah, 1.08 cents makes sense. At the worst, $0.09 would make sense. But if it's not something in this area, it's right here. We found support and ready to go. I got nothing else. Hodl your coins. Buy more. Hit the like button, most importantly. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves. Shout out to BMac. Love you. Bye-bye.